What about the future? What are some initiatives that you all have coming up?
Well, the most important that we had actually, we've been meeting every week on it, is our workforce initiatives. And
Welcome to Small Biz Connect, where we talk all things small biz. I'm Amy Reed, your host, the director of the Galveston County and the San Jacinto College SBDCs. We are federally funded through federal resources as well as state funded. And today we are joined by Gina Spagnola with the Galveston Regional Chamber of Commerce. Gina, thank you for being here today.
thank you so much. I'm so honored and I'm excited for you. This is great.
Thank you.
This is great.
So the Galveston Chamber of Commerce has been around for just a couple of years, right?
A few years. We're actually the first, we're the oldest. Houston was actually the first chamber, and they lasted for about 30 years, but we're the oldest chamber in the great state of Texas. We were established in the Republic of Texas by some really great Texans. And so in February 3rd, actually next year will be our 181st anniversary. And so,
Awesome.
yeah. And so, it's interesting because we talk about that history so much, but it really, I think, continues to drive me. I mean, every day when I go and I see that number and I see our mission that hasn't changed, that 1845, and I see that mission and I know those great Texans, it's a great responsibility, but it really drives me that wonderful history and that mission that, was really about the port.
Mm-hmm.
It was about the Port of Galveston during the Republic of Texas and protecting those waterways and protecting the businesses. And remember back then in 1845, Galveston was the Wall Street of the South.
Right.
And it was moving and shipping and cotton. It was king, all the things. And they started having some problems. And there was high tariffs and there were all these things. And businesses began to feel it. And so they said, we need Chamber of Commerce. And chambers have been around since the 1500s.
That's crazy.
So I know it's crazy. So, but I love it because now seeing our port and seeing the economic impact and what we're feeling in Galveston now is, it's just that same reason we continue to fight for them and to support them, 181 years almost later for those same things, for their ability to bring the cruise ships in now. And, so it's great.
Cruise ships are
I love
constantly coming in and out.
Oh, there's a lot.
That's good.
There's a lot.
Really
It's really good. And we're getting ready to celebrate. Next weekend will be the 200th anniversary of the Port of Galveston. And so it's great celebrations. Like the whole weekend, I'll be gone. But it'll start off with a party at the pier for the entire region and really the state. People are coming, really the nation. There's people coming from all over. But there'll be a party on the pier, and then Carnival is celebrating their 25th anniversary. I was on that first committee in the 90s. Dreaming, what if we ever had a cruise ship? What if a cruise ship came here? In the 90s, I was on that committee. And now it's come to fruition, and it's a beautiful thing. But that's what they were fighting for back then, not the cruise ships, but that industry, that maritime industry that is so important to Galveston and that deep water port. And so it's an exciting time. And then they'll have a big gala for the 200th anniversary. So
I feel like Galveston always has all the parties.
Oh, we do.
We have
There's
always something to celebrate, right?
Our whole region is so cool.
Yes.
But there are, because, we step right out of that into our 181st anniversary in January. And then you start going into Mardi Gras, and there's this. And I mean, we're going to always have Dickens on the Strand. And that's really near and dear to me, too, because when I first moved to Galveston, for her history, my husband and I loved it so much. We were in Houston. I worked for the Historical Foundation. And so that history of Galveston is really what brought us there, the Victorian architecture and that deep-rooted history. So I produced that for 10 years. So it's fun. there's always something to do.
You have so much history on the island too. And I think most of our listeners know who you are, but what is your role at the chamber?
Yeah, well, again, I'm Gina Spagnola, and I'm the president and CEO of the Galveston Regional Chamber of Commerce. October 1st is my 22nd anniversary there, 22 years. It seems like just yesterday. And you're my friend and you know me really well. And I think I'm even more excited about my job every day. Like people will go, oh, like how long are you going to work? Do you think about retirement? It's a good question. And I always say when I'm driving down that seawall in the morning and watching that sun rise, which is beautiful, y'all, the day that I don't look forward to opening up that door and think, what can I do today? What person's life can we help, change a business? Can we save them? Can we give them a piece of advice? Is exactly what they needed? Is it a piece of legislation that's going to change and help our businesses? The day that I don't have that drive and desire is the day I'll do that. So
I think it's funny that we do get to a certain age and people start asking us about what are your plans for retirement? I still have more to give. I'm not ready to retire.
I think it's interesting, and I don't mean this in a bad way, y'all, but I did. We hear that a lot. My age, I'm older than you
still.
And then even my best friends and mentors are still working. At Maureen Patton and Massey and people like that mentored me and shaped me. And they're still my best friends, my family, really. We were talking the other day and we're, on boards and different things with men our age and stuff. I've never heard them ask them. I've never heard them ask the man, like, when are you going to retire? But they ask us all the time. So now I'm just like, well, when are you going to retire? I'll retire when you retire. So anyway,
we still have so much more to give.
Question,
but so much more to give.
So I just, I love it. It's a lot. Chamber life, and it's a lot like your life, and anything I guess you're passionate about. But it really, if you're doing it right, and you're serving your mission, and you're serving the people in that community, it never stops. It never really stops. And so the other question is, how do you blend that? What does that look like? How do you turn that off? I don't think you do. I think your family and the people that love you and they're there with you, it just becomes all a part of kind of what they do too. My daughter, when I was at GHF, she'd go, are they a member of the Galveston Historical Foundation? Now it's like, are they a member of the chamber, Mom? Can we go? And so I think, and then my husband's so supportive. So I think, if we're doing our jobs right, it just becomes, you do need some balance. You need to get away. You need to put this down, which, hello, I can't even do it while we're here doing the interview, but we all need balance. We're giving so much of our time. So I think, people always ask me, I have a lot of hobbies. We have a little small farm and stuff. So I garden. That's where I find my peace. That's where I find my peace. So much peace just putting my hand in the dirt and growing things and eating, what we grow, and we save animals and things like that. And so I do think we all have to have balance and time away, but we never stop. I still pick up the phone in the garden.
I love that. Yeah, I see because the photos that you post, I'm like, oh, it's so peaceful. And yes, keep sharing those. I love it.
It does. Thank you. It's like, are people sick of these sunsets? Well, they're never different. So, but it's, I'm proud to be a part of a chamber and something that is so meaningful in a community. It's like what you do. We're so grateful for you. And I think in the SBDC and the SBA and all those groups that help us, I think a good leader in a chamber, I don't know everything about all that. I
One does.
know how to rally people. I know how to care about people. I always tell people we're not curing cancer at the chamber. We might be the connector, though, that'll help you if you are going through cancer and you need a good doctor and you need to find somebody and you need somebody to make a call we're the connectors of all those things. We're not sending people to the moon, but we're people. We're helping people that have invested, in a lot of cases, everything that they have for a dream.
Agreed.
They have taken it out and they have got a dream. to come to Galveston or our region and put that money in there. And that money might have come from grandmother who worked her entire life, or like my parents, my mom and my dad, who worked their entire life to give us a better life, but they've invested it. And man, I don't take that lightly. I do not take that lightly. And that's why we advocate. We are a chamber that endorses candidates. That's very, we're a 5-star accredited chamber. You get there by doing things like that, by serving your mission. It's controversial because a lot of people say, well, if you endorse Amy, and Jill wins, then, Jill's mad because Amy was your girl and you did. But really, we found that it is better for us. And they'll say, well, you could lose your membership. We really never have. The only member we might have lost is the one that maybe we didn't endorse that just joined to try to get the endorsement. But the thing I'm trying to say is doing the right thing in life is never necessarily the easy path. And so the way we look at it, the way our mighty board looks at it, the way they've looked at it for 181 years of our chamber leading, is we have a mission. So regardless of what our employees feel or our board feels personally of who they're going to vote for, we can all do that. We have a mission to elect people in our city that is going to support their ability to stay in business, to promote, all the tools and the resources and all that, which is what chambers do. We provide those to them. But if they can't afford to live there, pay their insurance there, their windstorm, their flood, get a permit, expand, and how much is that going to cost? They're not going to be in business.
Right.
So 4 votes matter.
Sure.
4 votes matter. 4 votes matter. Had we not had 4 votes last year, the beginning of this year, there would have been a moratorium, a 10-year moratorium on the cruise ship industry. And so the thing I'm most proud of is the ability to continue to serve and to keep our eyes directly on our mission, not to sell our soul, not to be purchased by anybody, by some big funder or whatever, to be very clear that we promote and we advocate for business and community development. And if you stay clear, there'll be some criticism, but that's just in life.
Mm-hmm.
That's just in how I live my life. That's how this chamber has continued to be successful. And really, I believe why we're so blessed is that we've never gone there to sell our soul. And it's not easy to do that. You get some negativity, and I don't like that. I don't want everybody to like us and stuff. But at night, I feel good going to bed, looking at myself in the mirror and said, we did the right thing. We did a good thing for business today.
What about the future? What are some initiatives that you all have coming up?
Well, the most important that we had actually, we've been meeting every week on it, is our workforce initiatives. And as you know, we have a phenomenal opportunity with Davie Shipbuilding that is likely coming. There's still a few things
We're all cheering for it
that have to happen, but we're talking about, just practically immediately within next year, about 1,200 by February or so. Jobs here, there would be jobs in Port Arthur, I think 600-700 there. So I met with our education committee and workforce combined. This is going to be a lot of what you'll be hearing about our new programming that we're going to be doing. But I've just identified, they're already on the road. Galveston College, all the presidents of the chamber got a fabulous invitation to meet with the president of COMS.
Wow.
And so we got to go there and talk about the future and workforce and things like that. But they're already identifying those jobs, welding and shipbuilding and pipe fitting. And, it just goes on, engineering and all those things. We want to get our community ready. And we were talking about, sure, the high schools and the junior colleges and the colleges doing that. But we were also talking about, what is it, upskilling or reskill or whatever, because there are also 40 and 50-year-olds out there that are thinking, I want to try something different.
next?
What's next? I want to do something different, And so, and even older, even in my age, 60-year-olds, they're looking for something else. And this is exciting for them. So we're going to continue to find those workers, to get them here, to get them ready for this. And it's not going to stop. That's just hopefully by February. But the numbers, 2,000 to 3,000 jobs there. We've got to find places for them to live. So we're going to have, it's going to be a housing thing. There's going to be a transportation component in it, getting them back and forth into Galveston and to Port Arthur and those regions. And so we'll be forming regional committees. There are already so many people. BAHAP's so great. Our other chambers are great, and they're doing it locally. But we all agree that this is a regional thing. Our region is so mighty and just so rich and so many things. It's just getting greater, I think. So that's the number one priority for us.
That's a great
It's getting it out there. Some of these jobs just beginning, just getting certification started at $75,000. $75,000. It's game changer for people, and these young kids that could go and get certified and start just a fabulous career. Internships, paid internships. And so on the job,
all those resources.
All those resources. And so it's really probably the greatest economic time in Galveston's history since the Great Storm. It's a rebuilding after the Great Storm. It's a very exciting time and such great opportunities. There's like a
lot of people are really hopeful about it. You can feel that energy.
You can feel it. And it's not a Galveston thing. It's a Texas thing. It is a Texas thing. This is great for Texas. And then you break it down into our region and, people, I still hear them say, oh, we've got to have the housing in Galveston and everything. We don't. We are a mighty region. They don't all have to live in Galveston. People commute.
A lot of commuters.
Outside of
a lot of commuters.
a lot of outside of Galveston. People do commute all over this country, and it is not to drive 30 minutes is not an unusual thing. And if you're making better money and you can afford to do that, it's not a crazy thing. And we have friends that are getting ready to move here from California, and they're just so excited and they just can't believe all the opportunities. They're coming here for work.
Oh, everybody is.
I know.
They're flooding in.
I know. It's just, I wake up and it's just better news every day. So
awesome.
Very grateful to be a part of it.
Just to be here and feel that.
I know. I just kind of sat back yesterday, and as the educators and the colleges and the employers and all of them were just having this conversation. It's like, God, it's a good time to be a part of this.
It is.
Great piece of history.
I love it.
This shipbuilding company, they're renowned. Maybe the top in the world.
Mm-hmm. And it's been a long time in the works. They've been talking about this for many years. So
they have it's not just a fly by night.
No. And we're in that home stretch, it feels like. So I do want to take a little turn about kind of circle back to something else you were talking about, youth and that sort of thing. So I think that leads us to Lemonade Day.
Oh, yeah. I saw that on your questions. Yeah. I love that.
So tell us a little bit about Lemonade Day. I know my experience is always great working with the kids. And
thank you.
All the lemonade. That's a lot of lemonade when you're a judge.
I go through a lot. Yeah.
Thank goodness for the cookies.
Yes. Such a good judge.
Yes. No, it's great. And hearing all of them, talking about why they're doing it and then, digging in just like they're actual entrepreneurs. So
they are. Because they are.
Exactly.
Well, the Lemonade Day is a national program for those that don't know. And we came into it really early, just through a kind of a random email. And my godchild was working at the chamber. She graduated in Arkansas and came down and stayed with us and started interning with the chamber. And anyway, it actually just got to her. And she ran into the office and said, oh my gosh, we got to look at this. It's so great. lemonade and entrepreneurs and kids and all this stuff. And so we looked at it and we fell in love with it. And then we thought, oh gosh, I mean, if we're going to do it right, it's another thing, to be careful with chambers because we get all these ideas and it's like, what would we not do if we did this or whatever?
Right.
But we were in a place, it was 16 years ago, 16 years. So we didn't have nearly as many things as we've got going on now. And it just felt good. It felt good in the heart. And then I met the founder. I went up and met Michael Holthouse and his wife, Lisa, who I adore. And so anyway, he had started it and he explained it to me. I got very involved with the national team and stuff. And so the premise of the whole thing is to teach kids how to own and operate their own business through a lemonade stand. And it's a very, very good curriculum that was written by teachers. Michael Holthouse had them do it so good. The curriculum is so strong that now Odyssey Academy, they've been with us all of the years, as has GISD, but Odyssey Academy has it within their school. And so their kids learn entrepreneurship in the school. They have weaved it into everything they do. And so that's a really, really good thing. But anyway, if you're doing it right as a chamber, because you could get a license, come here, give out backpacks, let kids register and go do your thing. But that's not how we do things. I wanted to measure it. I wanted to know, are we making a difference? Are the kids learning something? They've been in it 3 years. How have they grown? Do they understand what it takes? And we started doing that. We did it right. And we've had, before COVID, we had 1,200 kids throughout the county. I'm the county director, which means the Galveston Chamber buys the license. And it was back then, there weren't many across the nation. And so they were selling the county thing. They don't do that now. And so we do that. We pay for it. We pay for the backpacks, the curriculum. Every kid gets that. Everything's free because we have incredible sponsors. The banks love it because it's financial literacy. Right. We're teaching these kids how to put together a budget and then how to market. How are people going to find you? How are they going to know where your lemonade stand is? So they're having to think through all those things.
And I love that they have to call the employer and ask them to put their stand out front.
Yes, because I'm like, can you just go put your, because they're like, we're going to go to Pleasure Pier. I said, well, you can't just set up on the side. You're going to have to call. And so they do. And we really, the thing that, and then we have a little teacher's curriculum too for a parent. It's great for big brothers and sisters because the littles and the bigs can work on this project together. Right. It's good for the YMCA. It's good for the Boy Scouts, I believe, and Girl Scouts and exploring. I believe now you can earn 4 merit badges just by participating in Lemonade Day. So if you are watching and you are a part of scouting, which I was, it's deep in my soul. I was an explorer and I went as high as I could go because girls couldn't be Eagle Scouts. But if you are and you're watching this, please get a hold of me because it's perfect for them.
That's awesome.
Homeschools, it's perfect for homeschoolers because it's curriculum. And so they can do it. But anyway, it's been wildly successful. This year, we're so excited. We have always asked all the cities to be involved, primarily chambers, but it is a lot of work, and so we do it anyway. But this year, last year, the League City Chamber, Brian Bolton and Shasta and Gina, Mighty Three, our family, our extended chamber family, gave us the nod and said, we want to do it. We want to do it. And we thought, let's do the ballpark. And it's baseball and lemonade and the All-American and Chevy trucks. I mean, we had it all there, right. And it was fun. And so, and successful. But they're doing it this year. We're just combining efforts. We're going to do it on Lemonade Day. They're taking it. We had our first meeting with the mighty League City Chamber Lemonade Day Committee. Oh. Wow. They were fantastic. And so they're excited. So we just want to grow it. It is a program that runs deep into my soul because I've seen lives changed. I've seen kids that have been told, pretty horrific things that they're never going to be anything or do anything in their lives and this and that. And we, as a chamber, because people go, why chamber? Why would the chamber do this? Why would a chamber not do it?
You support small business.
Why would we not be growing our own entrepreneurs, growing them? And they all know what a chamber is. I have fifth graders that can come in because we have lemon loans that they can do because sponsors,
Right.
they put money into that so the kids can borrow $50 and then they learn what a contract is. They have to sign a little contract. They can borrow up to $50. They have to show their budget. But they can present their budget sometimes better than a lot of people that just come into my office and they just have a dream and I want to have a boutique. I want to have a seashell shop. That's hard to say.
Right.
It's just a dream. And it's like, well, have you thought about this? Let me see your marketing plan, and it's just a dream. But these kids get it. And many of them have gone on. They've graduated from college. They've got 2 or 3 businesses, lots and lots of success stories in it. But it's really planting that little seed and letting them know no matter where they are, no matter what their situation is, they can control it and they can learn how to operate a business, run a business, operate a business on their own and be control of it. So
I think that's really catching on in our area too, because, Emico Federal Credit Union just had their small biz.
I didn't know about
kids biz, I think is what it's called.
It's Kid Biz. As a matter of fact, on my phone last night, I saw it and I'm thinking, why did I not know about that? But I snapped a picture
on Galveston Island.
Yes.
So, I feel like a lot of people are realizing this is our next generation of entrepreneurs. We need to start cultivating
to do stuff and grow it. Macy Middleton, Senator Middleton's wife, does a big program that she's going to help me bring to Galveston too. But it's more of just whatever you're doing. But the basic principles of lemonade, and that's what I tell kids. Because at first they're like, does our business always have to be lemonade like for the rest of our life? It's like, no, this is just showing you.
Right.
However, there was a little girl in Austin, Sweet Bee Lemonade, who now is a multimillionaire that started Lemonade Day. And their family, they're great friends of mine. They didn't really have a lot of money and stuff, but they loved the program. She got in it. They used their grandmother's recipe, bottled up the lemonade, HEB. Ended up buying into it. They're on the shelves of HEB. And then she was on Shark Tank. They invested in her.
Awesome.
There's been a couple of NFL players that invested in her. She is a
way to go.
Millionaire, not billionaire yet. But from Austin, Texas, I've had her speak. She's been our keynote speaker at a couple of things.
Thank you, speakers. That kind of leads us over to the women's conference.
Yes.
So about great women and that sort of thing. So this is something you've been doing for many years as well. What makes your women's conference different?
I think our women's conference, at the beginning, we started off with that question, what is going to make our women's conference different? Just the word conference, sometimes I struggle with. So that might be changing too, because that whole event's changing. But so I'm not the standard dude that we were one of the chambers that started the whole annual meeting thing being instead of chicken and rice and a luncheon, because I did it the first 2 years I was the president. And I went, oh gosh, this is so boring. So, and I may be a lot of things, but I'm not boring and we're going to do things differently. And so, anyway, we thought about that. We really thought about that. What's going to make it different? And one of the things that right off the bat, we said, we're going to keep everyone in the same room. We're not going to do breakout sessions, which people are like, you need to do breakout sessions. You've got to go and do that. It's like, I don't think so. I think the energy, we want to create so much energy in a room that we have all of those women in there. And so every word that is spoken, other than if they walk out of the room and go shopping, because you can't go do that.
Right.
And they do that. That's okay. But we want to keep them in there. We want them to hear every word together, because most of the things we talk about is strengthening and supporting each other. Women supporting women, women lifting up women, women not being jealous. So poisonous. And so a lot of those themes go around there, but it's also about health and wellness and all those things. And it's fun too. But I think the key magic from the beginning was keeping them in a room. we had decided that we want to start off with a dance, which a lot of people are like, oh, Lord, here we are. I'm going to have to get up and dance. Well, you don't have to. But getting music in it right off the bat, starting it, having some big opening thing is different than anything that we had ever seen. And so I think it's just all those little things that makes it special. And then we were able to get a grant from the Moody Foundation because I knew enough to know, and at the time, Mr. Moody was alive, and I knew enough to know to get this started the way we wanted, it needed to be big. We needed to have a big keynote speaker in there, a couple of them, and we couldn't afford it at the time to do that. And I think that's the magic is we've been able to bring people, the First Lady of the United States of America, Laura Bush, we brought Gina Bush, we brought movie stars, we brought entertainers and singers and songwriters and Mariel Hemingway and, just so many phenomenal people. And we've addressed things too, like human trafficking. When I was told, oh, it's too dark. We can't do that. It's too dark. People aren't going to like that. We're uplifting. I said, everything else could be uplifting. But as women, how do we not address human trafficking with the most of it right up the street in Houston, Texas?
Right.
How do we know? How do we teach our young girls and boys, our sons and daughters? How do we teach them what do you look for? What are the signs? How do we talk to someone where we may be getting a service or our kids, now they're in schools.
Yeah.
We need to educate ourselves and we're failing ourselves if we don't. And I just kind of fought through it. We did it. It was fabulous. Fabulous. So I think not being afraid to have those discussions and to have some fun. But I think those were the key components. The shopping is amazing. But, I look at that and like, you can go shop anywhere.
It's a great opportunity for all those vendors.
To have it in there now.
Amazing.
Yesterday, we're starting the $2 challenge again in Galveston. So I was with everywhere.
The daily
It's not just in Galveston, it's everywhere. So we were out filming and stuff. And both of the vendors the businesses that we were talking to said they'd pretty much made their entire budget for September. One of them said September was slow. If it was not for the women's conference, I don't know what I would have done this month. So during COVID, this is kind of this mighty leader chamber thing. We had to close the doors legally, but our chamber didn't close. I never missed a day of work. Went out on the streets, did 400 and something videos out talking to businesses, figuring out how to get rid of the summer stuff, and things and how to sell stuff, do it safely, but leadership. But those are the things in the women's conference that people think, oh, it's vendors and stuff. This is the way that some of them make it in a really kind of interesting time in September.
Right.
Right before the holidays, that shoulder, I guess is what they call it or whatever.
Kind of talking about it's been very rough right now. So I know that's been a lot of them.
And so
how many vendors did you have?
We had 161.
I know it was
161 vendors. So it does. And so I love that. Plus the nonprofit aspect. There's nonprofits in there and we honor a couple of them. And then I think the Women of the Year, adding the Women of the Year into the women's conference. And we do it. We could do it in an hour and a half at lunch. So everybody's seated and watching that. And to be able to look into this region and find women that are just doing incredible things in our industry. The Mary Ellen Doyle Legacy Award, is incredible. So I think that's a magical piece, but I think it's just fun and exciting. And I think that we're very, we don't take it lightly. And I kind of, people may think this is silly. It's okay. It's how I am. But I just always feel like the right people are getting, because we call and I have an idea and then they'll say, oh, sorry, they're not available or something comes up. And I always tell the committee the right person's going to be here. Right. And I also believe that God has already assembled the people that needs to hear what this person's going to say. For instance, when we were addressing suicide after COVID and depression and things like that, we brought in Mariel Hemingway That wasn't really the plan. But then all of a sudden, she's available. She comes in and starts addressing that and talking about that. And I think that those things don't just happen because, oh, Gene, it's always, they are that committee. They just always have it right. I have a lot of faith that there's help with that.
I agree.
I really do.
So if someone were to want to connect with the Galveston Regional Chamber of Commerce, how would they do that?
If you want to connect with me directly, you're going to think this is crazy. I always give my cell phone. I really do. So
That is crazy.
it's super crazy. But if you do, if you seriously, if you want to get a hold of me for leadership, women's conference, join the chamber, whatever, my number is 409-789-5906. The chamber's number is 409-763-5326. You can go on our website, and it's galvestonchamber.com. You could go and you could look at our young professionals group. By the way, Lemonade Day, which we were talking about, we have won 5 national awards through national with Lemonade Day. And city director staff, I was honored to win Michael Holthouse's very first founder award and several after that. But that's a team that won that. I was lucky to be able to be the one to go get it. But that is the mighty team that's been with us for a long time there. And I just got off track on talking about that. And I was finishing.
You were giving all your contacts.
Yeah. So go online and you'll see the young professionals. You'll see more about Lemonade Day, Galveston County. And any of the things that we do. We are a regional chamber. We have a Good Morning Mainland that's at the Texas Gun Club. Anybody's welcome. We come into the mainland and we use the word regional. We did that through strategic planning years and years ago because one of the worst things that had happened when I first started the chamber 22 years ago, people said, we can't join the chamber because we've heard it. You have to be from Galveston or you have to have been a BOI, all those things, and that Galveston didn't want to do business. And we actually had a strategic planner come in early into my career and said, you're going to have to add regional. You're going to have to do it because it's going to stop you from so many things. So anyway, we're here on the mainland Texas Gun Club, and that's the third Wednesday, I think, of the month. You'll find all that there. And then Good Morning Galveston, lots of wonderful networking and connections, and call us. I'm always available, and only call if you're going to say nice things and want good things.
Gina, thank you for coming.
You're
today.
so wonderful.
Thanks for taking the time to come across the causeway. We know it, not everybody on the island cuts across.
I do. I love it. I do Astros and rodeo and come to see you. Before we leave, if I could, though, I really, anyone's watching, I really want you to understand that because of the SBDC, they've been a part of this one to me is just incredible. You are an incredible treasure to our region, and we turn to you a lot in their work. Y'all, if you don't know, and I'm sure you all do, but I can't tell it enough about the resources that you have. And it just enhances what we do because we don't have to know everything. We just call Amy, and Amy can come in and enlighten us. But thank you. You're a true asset.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Love our friendship too.
Me too.
Thank you for the opportunity.
Yeah, thanks for being here. And to our listeners, thanks for tuning in today. And make sure that you subscribe to all of our channels so you stay up to date. And thanks for coming to Small Biz Connect, where big ideas meet small biz.